So good morning, good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. It's great to be somewhere sunny rather than looking at cloud and rain and constantly putting the umbrella up. So it's a great market. Everyone I've spoke to here so far has been excellent, and the panel this morning leads me nicely into our presentation. So I don't know if we can bring that up, please. Excellent. So just really want to talk about how fast can be a proposition to all of your businesses in this region. It's growing, and how you can use fast to drive some extra revenue in all markets, whether that's your content over, or whether you're a streamer, or whether you're a telco platform. So I just want to go through some figures on how the market's shaping up internationally. Just to introduce myself, I'm Keith Bedford. I'm General Manager of Wurl. We're a business that's based out of California, so a US predominantly business. I'm running the EMEA side of business, looking after both the commercial teams, the ad teams, and scheduling teams. So very much involved in all the growth in the market. And I would say one thing that Wurl is here for is to help grow the market. When we see the revenues next, you can see the difference in the market. Currently, this is from WARC. This is the global revenue in CTV. So this isn't purely fast. This is connected television across the globe. Currently, we can see, and this is ad revenue. So this isn't revenue. This is purely ad revenue. So what we can see is there's a shift in ad spend, and where these agencies are placing their money, how they're spending their money, and how they're getting a return on their ad spend, which is so important now. The fact that the big tech companies have done this, Google, Meta, all in this region, you're able to place ads with them, you're able to target users, find them users, serve them ads, and check attribution back. So it's a very important part of how CTV is turning advertising revenue. Now, obviously, looking at where we are right now, this is projection to 2027. So the revenues in CE are quite small at the moment, but they are 10 billion projection in the US. And I've got some slides on why there's a difference between the US and why there's such a slow growth in Europe and Central Eastern European Europe. But, again, this is all driven by ad spend. It's all driven by the brands placing their ads. It's all driven by attribution. So it's a very, very key part of the market. There's a few slides here. I won't touch on all the points, but, in the US market, it's driven by growth. In Europe, we've got a very strong PSB offering, for service broadcasters, especially in my region, UK, BBC, ITV, free-to-air. They're the content kings. They've got the strong content. What they are doing, however, is launching their content internationally on fast. So all of those PSBs in the region have launched in US and worldwide. The US has stronger content currently. A lot of the major brands have moved channels to fast, AMC, A&E, BBC Studios, I mentioned, even NBC Universal. So they're all launching content. And, at the moment, there's very little premium content on the fast channels here. So that's certainly what's happened in Europe. There are, however, some, early adopters, and we've got one of our clients on the stage, All3 Media. They're an early adopter in the fast market. They've used some of their content, their archive content, to build channels, both in the UK and internationally. The US market they're in right now, and they're making some good revenues from that. So, we are seeing that early adoption changing. The US is also changing, where we were seeing All3 Media, Banijay having top channels, which they still are. There's also access from the big broadcasters going into that space. So, that we are seeing that shift. Obviously, we all know Europe's completely different. These slides, by the way, were actually done for my US management team back in January, just trying to say, why is it so slow in Europe? What's happening? And these are a lot of the reasons why. To launch a fast channel in Europe, there's languages, there's licensing. We're also doing licensing around ad tech. So we all have to be registered to serve ads in different countries because they're digital ads, they're still regulated, certainly on TV. So there is, a legal battle, a language battle, and a culture battle. But, everybody in here has moved content around the globe and brought content from the globe and translated it into the current region. So everything's possible. And obviously, lots of tech around AI is pushing this also. So, what you've also got in the US, which is not quite happening here, is the Tubies of the world and the Plexes of the world. And these are, fast services that are going straight to the user with lots of channels. Plex, Roku, Tubi, all predominant channels in the US, haven't really entered the European market yet, but they are. Tubi, Plex are doing quite well in the UK. Tubi are launching in different areas. But one of the big services is Pluto. Pluto are doing an excellent service across Europe, and we work with Pluto. We can see they're growing. So they are entering and starting to come over. Currently, also, the fast market is dominated by the TV manufacturers and the OEMs. So very much, if you're thinking about putting content out internationally, Samsung, LG, Hisense are the big players in that market. So what we've got to think about is what is the strategy for the rest of Europe. Streamers, telcos are looking at streaming services, putting streaming channels into their EPG. One of the things that's happening in the UK is a company called Freely. I don't know if anyone knows this. It's basically Freeview, which is the digital television group, which is owned by BBC, ITV, Channel 4, Viacom, and they are now doing an integrated EPG where the end consumer knows no difference. It's linear channels. If you plug your TV into satellite, it will pull in your satellite TV channels. If you plug it into DTV, it will bring in over the air. If you plug in satellite, it will do satellite. So from a consumer point of view, nobody actually knows how these channels are being delivered. But predominantly, you can plug it into a broadband and you'll get the same amount of channels. ITV will be a streaming channel. The pure difference is it's going to be digital ad revenue driving that market. So Freely is someone I would look up. They are looking to go across Europe with it, but it's predominantly in the UK, a very good platform. Some of the other things, Germany's a market we see growing very quickly. There's been some change in cable laws there, which means you don't have to subscribe to a cable service if you're on a block of flats, for instance, which is run by one telco. So the German market for us is very strong, and we see it growing very quickly. So what do Wurl do? Quick introduction. I'm not going to be selling to you too much, but I will. So we're made up of, basically we call this the monetization wheel. We're made up of a number of different services. So predominantly what we're doing in this market is working with content owners, ingesting their content. They might want to schedule it themselves, or we have a team of schedulers. We provide a schedule, and then we do a distribution stream to over 50 platforms. So we take care of everything for you. We put your content in, we can schedule it, we can add ad breaks in, and then we can distribute to multiple platforms. What we're doing next is monetizing it using a product called AdPool. Now, AdPool is our ad insertion product. It's basically using, AI to target and find the right ads to place in the right spots. Obviously, one of the major differences between how ads work in linear spot TV versus digital is we're in a bidding system. So it's all real-time bidding, just like Google and Meta, how it works. It's all based on CPM rates. It's all based on you giving the best metadata for your channel back to the brand to find where the ad can be placed and matching it. So we're using AI technology to get our ads in front of the right people. So there's some massive growth in that area for us. And again, that's not just working with the content owners, that's also working with the streamers directly. So lots of stuff around AI in ads, and I could go on with some more products we've got for brand discovery, but probably not relevant right now. The other thing is, performance marketing. One of the biggest challenges we all face as content owners is how do you find that end consumer? And in the US right now, because we've got scale, we are able to target devices. So let's just take an example, something like Tastemade, which is a US cooking channel. We ingest their metadata. We then search the devices for people that are watching similar types of content. We target them with ads, and we track their attribution back to the channel. So this is very much a performance marketing, campaign-driven solution to get the users up on your channel and find people that like your content and drive them to the channel. So, a whole new thing going on in the US, which is great. So from our point of view, we know it's really early days, but we would like to have conversations with content owners, streamers, and telcos alike to really build the future of where this stream is going. Heard this morning, we're in this sort of changeover period. There's certainly, linear is very strong in this area, but we're doing linear. But the difference is it's using ad tech digital ad tech to deliver. So that's where we go. So just to give you a quick overview, 45 global streaming brands we plug into. We deliver 4,000 channels into the CTV market, and every month we're seeing about 1.7 billion hours of viewing. So obviously that's monetizing our channels very well. Fast is going to make a difference in all regions. It's just dependent on how this growth changes and how quickly it happens. But obviously we're seeing that happen in Central Europe, and hopefully it's going to happen here. So thank you. That's my brief introduction. I'm in time, and I'm just going to welcome on Julian and Clover to introduce the rest of the panel. But thanks for that. Enjoy the beach towels.
Thank you very much, Keith. Let me introduce the rest of the panel this afternoon. Keith, of course, is staying with us. Victoria Davies is the managing partner from Davies, Stoychev and Partners. Isa Piotrowska is the Director of Affiliate Sales and Business Development for Mega Max Media and Business Development Director at We Do TV. Ben Packwood, VP of Sales, All3 Media International. And Karina Rompa, who is Business Development and Partnerships at Rakuten TV. Welcome, everyone. I'm going to pick up on some of the themes that Keith set going for us there. First of all, where CEE fits into the global picture when it comes to fast. Isa, as Keith mentioned there, we already have some development there. But early on, I noticed there was the graph with a teeny tiny amount of revenues coming in for CEE.
I don't know where they're coming from, to be honest.
Overestimated, you
Poland.
think?
Yeah, probably from Poland. Yeah,
Poland.
but no, we don't really have established fast platforms in this region. Definitely not. I mean, it depends how you define fast platforms. Is it just a platform that operates fast channels only? If yes, then obviously the CTVs are not here with their TV offerings. LG, Samsung, of course, Xiaomi, all of these guys, they are here with the devices, but they're not here with the TV offerings. There is Rakuten, which I'm sure Karina will tell us a little bit more about it. They have some presence, probably more in Poland than anywhere else. And then on my side, actually, I represent We Do TV. It's a company, it's a fast AVOD and fast business. And we do our platform, AVOD platform is available globally. And so it's also available here, but our content, with the very, very limited content still offering. But we're working on bringing more content here. So yes, no. Not that much.
I guess that's, that's the kind of thing. It's all very well having the technology and the TV sets and the button you press to take you to the fast channels. If you're either getting the same channels I'm getting back in the UK, or worse, you're not getting anything at all, that's not serving the local market
absolutely,
here.
Absolutely. But as I said, we have on We Do TV, our key markets are the UK, German-speaking, and Italy, but also other, most of the Western European countries. We're present with very strong offerings, but this is still an area of growth. But yeah, we'll get here.
Just a quick point on that, on localization. Italy has seen a lot of local channels launching on fast. I mean, if you look at the price of building a channel and launching it, over streaming versus satellites, a lot cheaper. So
is that because Italy used to have 1 million terrestrial channels?
So we've seen the growth in Italy and the local content working really well.
Yeah.
So, there is an opportunity for local brands to launch on fast when it's in the region, obviously.
Yeah. Victoria, I wonder if there's lessons here which can be learnt maybe from cable and from telcos, both in the deployment of multiple services and also maybe in localization as well, which is pretty key.
Yeah, for sure. I think, as Isa said, it's yet to be established fast in this region. But if you look historically at how, of course, pay TV is hugely penetrated, cable is hugely penetrated in this region, which makes the whole market structure for fast very different. And I think that's where you could see telcos playing a different role in fast versus in Western Europe, US, of course, you've got connected TV platforms being very, very strong and kind of really pushing for fast, because this is an additional part of their business model, whereas it's not yet established here, and there's a question over the penetration. When you look at telcos, could be even broadcasters, they are in the position of having localized content, understanding the advertising market and understanding how that can be deployed. But of course, the question is if the scale yet exists in order to support fast, and whether there is an interest in developing that business model, because it can also be slightly disruptive to the, the status quo.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? When we talk about fast, sometimes it's immediately associated with the big brand TV sets. Yet, of course, it's actually many historically, and this market included, well, actually, we've been talking about the cable platforms, the satellite platforms, and people who have maybe chosen to have one of those in their homes on the main set are immediately switching off anything that the TV set can do beyond the volume control.
Well, I mean, I think that here, it's a generalization, but across this entire region, it's the kind of pay TV operator, the telco that very much owns the home screen for the consumer, rather than it being a connected TV platform. They're vying to own that, but they really don't in this region, and that's where I think the dynamic is different, and the way it can evolve is very different.
How, in other ways, I wonder, are there, Karina, does the CE market differ from other places, particularly when it comes to the reception, the acceptability of fast?
So I spent over 15 years responsible for acquisition for different telcos, and I did pay TV. And I recently joined Rakuten TV, which gives me opportunity to see both sides. And of course, in Rakuten TV, we operate in whole Europe, and obviously EU5 and the rich countries like Scandinavia, Luxembourg are more advanced in fast. But I cannot agree that it's not existing in Poland. We have over 70 channels. Of course, Poland is the most developed market in CE, but it's also the biggest market. So it starts from here. And we have 70 fast channels in Poland right now. Only 4 of them are localized, but it's just the beginning, and we see huge potential in that, and we will roll out that success on other territories in CE as well. And I cannot agree that only us, Warner Bros, has 17 fast channels in their own app in the player. Pilot WP also, it has few fast channels, and it's and I have lots of discussions with telcos about fast channels in Poland. Of course, that's my root market, and I know them the best. But also in other territories, everyone's asking for fast, and that non-presence in CE of Samsung TV Plus and LG fast channels is opportunity for telcos. They can. Because in fast, the reach is something what matters the most, because then we are able to generate a significant amount of money, and then we are able to share with our partners that money. So it's opportunity for CE market.
And what those 70 channels then, of which 4 you say are localized at this time? Let's quickly deal with the 66 or so channels. What is that? Just a typical fast channel selection?
Yeah, that are international fast channels, but we just recently signed a deal with advertisement office in TVP National TV in Poland. Our exclusive partner for monetization is Rakuten Advertising, but we needed some local forces to support that sales in Poland. That's why we have that deal with TVP in Poland. And now we see that that was amazing, great move. And we are going to launch more localized channels and owned and operated channels in Poland. We just needed that additional power to make it more efficient. So we have great partnership all through media.
Yeah, I was going to say, actually, I think your new partnership with TVP on the ad sales side is something that's encouraged us to give something new a go, which is extending one of our British fast channels, single IP channels, into Poland. And if you've got this great relationship to get the ads in there, then it's going to work. So yeah, we've just signed a deal last week, actually, to launch a Homes Under the Hammer channel that is already doing very well in the UK. And
I'm getting very excited.
Now your eyes lit up when I said Homes Under the Hammer. Yeah, that's a very long-running, daytime TV property show. It's not had any penetration in Poland before, so this is a bit of an experiment.
So nobody's seen the show. It's a completely brand new in all senses.
Yes, but with Rakuten's help and with Wurl's help, we have created the channel already. So switching it on in Poland for us is not too much of a risk. It's been around for a long time. It has not yet found a home. Let's give it a go on fast.
And how what do you do? Because this is a show. I've seen it a few times. It's one of these shows you feel sometimes whenever you turn on BBC One, you're getting Homes Under the Hammer or Bargain Hunt is the other one.
Yeah.
What do you do to make it Polish? Do you just leave it as is? Do you transfer those British property prices into the local currency?
In this situation, nothing, no. It's literally going to be a direct
CPM is very different in CE than in Western Europe, and we all know that, but it will definitely change.
Yeah.
It needs to change.
Okay, well, we'll explore hopefully some of the language localization a little bit later. I wanted to pick up a little bit more on the telcos and what can happen there. Keith, how do you see the telco's role in CEE, say, compared to where it is in Western Europe and the rest of the world?
Yeah. I mean, certainly the change is happening with TV OSs. So if we look at someone like Titan that's just launched, they're building a hybrid solution that can sit on multiple TVs. But then there are other third parties that we're working with that are, doing the operating systems on top of the telcos and providing the EPG services and the carousel services. They are all, and we're talking to a few of them where we are delivering fast channels into them. So, all of those, tech partners in region are building in a streaming and fast proposition. So it's going to be very easy for the telcos to work with, their providers to integrate fast into their current services. So, we're also working with them. We provide things like a head-end service where we aggregate all of the channels from the different providers into a single delivery point. From there, we can help the telcos with their ad strategy. And because this is a whole new, area for them, how do you monetize those channels within platforms? So, what we're able to do is put a heading where they can then go to the content owners and work out how they're going to do a deal, which is completely different in every region. But, in essence, it will allow the telcos to offer a revenue share, which they can take some of the ad revenue and they can give the ad revenue back to the content owners and build a whole new revenue model for both the telcos and the content owners.
So we're looking at, if you like, two pools almost of operators. On the one hand, you have the telcos, who will be familiar, as we know, in many homes already. On the other, you've got this, and it's only really something which has kind of emerged almost over the last year or 18 months or so. The operating system for a TV, which doesn't necessarily belong to the manufacturer.
Yeah, well, in Samsung's case, it does.
Yes, of course. The big
LG's
ones always will, but if you get down to a lower level, there's the opportunity for them to play with the big boys, as it were.
Exactly, and that's exactly what Titan are trying to go for. They're an agnostic. They are actually working with Philips, and I think they've got some of the Curry televisions. But same with Vida. Vida are basically agnostic, so they can work not just on Hisense televisions, but on other manufacturers as well. So. And we're also seeing TiVo coming into the market with their operating system, Xperi, launching on some TVs, which I can't mention because I don't think it's public domain. But, so everybody is working towards either a TV OS or, an existing solution, third party, which can work with telcos to deliver VOD, to deliver linear, and deliver streaming. So all of
sorry. I was just
and Rakuten's an app, by the way. Sorry.
I was just going to add in that I think with the telcos, you can see a couple of different models being tried out in Europe, which are, one of them is about integrating, for example, Pluto TV is integrated into Magenta in Germany. But then you have Virgin Media O2 in the UK who have integrated FAST into their own EPG.
Right.
So they're actually doing it themselves, getting into the game. So there are different models that are working, or let's say that are being experimented with for telcos. And I think that's where also that can be applicable here. It's not a one-size-fits-all. It's about what works for your business model and your market, but it's about how can I participate in that.
And it stops things, I hate the word silos, but it stops things being put into silos, doesn't it?
Yeah. And it can also be, I mean, in their case for Virgin, I think they've said that it is a great way for them also to almost upsell a TV product to their IP-only households.
Absolutely.
So they're using it as this, what you might have called in the olden days, like a barker channel, that you'd have, that you provide free to your customers, and then you can use it as an upsell tool. It's a new version of that in a way.
Well, that's just additional content, great content that they can add to their offerings, they can offer to the customers for free.
Yeah.
It's just free to our channels.
And
There's
quite
nothing
simple, I guess,
new about FAST.
popping it into the EPG, Karina, it very basically puts the FAST channels, it doesn't actually make them special, it just makes them, them a channel with good content.
Exactly, that's why it's so important if they're integrated, if they have a good EPG number, so they sit next to the other big broadcasters, so they've got the visibility, that's what the audience is. So it's just a free-to-air channel.
FAST channels fighting over 777 or something to where they are.
Yeah.
I also think that CTV and telcos are addressing different target groups because when you pay for your set-top box and you have lots of sports rights, you don't even think to look for free content because it's not the same. But integrating to EPG is a natural way. It's where people watch content. That's I cannot see even another natural way how to integrate FAST channels with to telcos or to EPG and CTV.
I think the other interesting angle of it is, again, we don't see this yet in CEE, but if you look at DAZN as one example, they're rolling out FAST channels for women's football. I think they've got one for combat sports. So there's also this content owners or, creators and so on.
Plays your barker channel idea, really, of associating here's a big brand, I don't have to pay for it this time.
Exactly, and it's about popularizing content and so on, so you can expand the funnel, then, how you're going to put them into SVOD eventually. But it depends on what the strategy is, but I think that means that it's a different, it also represents a different opportunity where you might be able to monetize in an advertising-supported way also at a much lower cost base than you would have ever had previously. Again, there's a time that's not maybe yet in CEE, but I think this opens up a different opportunity in that way.
And the FIFA Plus channel did exactly that. They didn't sell the rights in a couple of territories, so they launched the actual Women's World Cup was live in Brazil and Italy over FAST. So
sneaky and possibly profitable as well.
Well, obviously sports is on a different level, and I don't think there's going to be much live sports on FAST. Probably there's plenty of opportunity for archives, but certainly where the rights aren't being sold in territory, there is an opportunity to put it free to air in FAST and monetize through advertising. So it's a different model.
Can I say, I think that Barker channel idea as well is where we're seeing huge success in the US, which is very different to just rolling out something that already exists. We have our Midsummer Murders channel there, which was a well-established brand in the US already. It had been syndicated for a long time, and people know about it. We were early adopters, like you said, Keith. We got in there. We made Midsummer Murders FAST channel for the back catalogue, for the older series, and now that is a perfect lead-in and this funnel to Acorn, which is the premium SVOD that has the newest season, and they all work together.
And it genuinely helps to build an audience for it.
For Acorn. Yeah.
How many episodes of Midsummer Murders are we at now?
Approximately 120, 125, I think. Yeah, it's been going.
Very dangerous.
We're coming
place
into the
to live.
25th season.
Mind you, Shetland possibly running at a close second for the number of deaths per square kilometre.
Yes, it's a dangerous county.
Yeah, very much so. I'd like to explore, Ben, actually, if we can, sort of other genres, the ones that work best on FAST. Mentioned a couple already. Homes Under the Hammer, although we don't know yet. It's could be touch and go.
We don't know yet in Poland, but in the UK it's very popular.
But for example, you've launched in fact, there was an announcement, I think, yesterday, Traitors launching in 4 CE markets. That strikes me that once the show has got a foothold, and there's no reason why it won't be the success that it's been in other markets, Traitors Fast Channel for CE, here we come.
The volume gets difficult. I mean, there's only 12 episodes per season.
What's the criteria in terms of, I guess they have to be of a similar genre, so you can bundle a few together, or multiple episodes, such as our friends Inspector Barnaby and Midsummer Murders?
We've taken a range of approaches when curating these channels. Some of them are single IP, like Midsummer Murders. Some of them are dual IP, things that sit really well together, 2 titles, because you don't quite have enough.
We do the same, yeah.
Some are themed. So we've created a sort of a series of channels called So Something, So Real. It's all reality series. We're looking at maybe some other So's coming up soon as well. We have a gardening channel with lots of Monty Don gardening shows on it, and that's one of those channels that we even actually create some original content for as well. We get Monty to do bits.
Quiz shows, I guess that's another, particularly some daytime quiz shows, which feel like they go on forever, 5 days a week. And
Sure, yeah, there's great potential.
I think we should mention that news channels are also performing very well in FAST, because we have very interesting time in not in whole world, but in CE as well.
That's a surprise. I wonder for news channels, is it just a means for news channels to get better distribution, as much as it is about doing the fast thing?
We have lots of elections. We're waiting for presidential election in the US, which have impact on whole world. And there are several other elections around Europe in CE including. So everyone wants to know something.
Yes, France 24 could be the chance as well in the
Euronews and
over
CNN
the
Plus. There are many news fast channels, and
an election fast channel. I'd be quite. You could probably do it this year, couldn't you? Moving from market to market according to who was
like
going
a
to the polls
channel
next.
for Christmas.
Yeah,
Too
possibly.
much content for one channel, probably.
I'm sorry?
Too much content for one channel.
You'd have a whole bouquet of them.
With news, Euronews are doing really well distributing on fast, and in the US there's 350 million potential devices, so it's a big market.
And it's an interesting one because I guess channels, I remember the struggle that Al Jazeera had to get into the US market, not necessarily probably just on pure distribution reasons, but other European news channels, Euronews is a good example, probably previously struggled to get into the US market, but now here's their opportunity.
Yeah, and it also works the other way. CNN and Bloomberg, they're all delivering channels on fast.
Well, I wanted the
Europe,
thing too. That
it comes the other way back, and we're helping them distribute. So
I was going to say
it's getting their news channels into Europe as well.
Yeah, to bring it back into CEE, I guess that's just the opportunity for a lot of broadcasters, be it the whole channel or individual IP, to
they have a great
retake a market,
to add so much additional content that it's just very, very unique. Single IP channels. This is something completely new, and I think it's great. We're also working with that concept. We have one channel with telenovela, Latin American telenovela. It's called We Do Amor, and we have 6 different titles. But then one partner approached us and basically asked us if we can create a single IP channel with just one title, and that's exactly what we're doing. So we can just create tailor-made channels, just almost like that. So I think
I think the most success will be when there is real familiarity with that brand already.
Absolutely.
Obviously, we're optimistic about Homes Under the Hammer in Poland, but realistically, it's not going to be huge. Whereas something like Kitchen Nightmares, which is a format of ours, has been running for 25 seasons on TVN. It's hugely popular already. The audience is very familiar with it. They recently extended their rights profile on that to include fast, and it's now a key centre point of their new fast channels, of which you said there's 17 that they've got on Player. And people will just keep going back and watching old episodes of something like Kitchen Nightmares.
Oh,
It's
the
evergreen
one.
content.
Yeah, it's evergreen, absolutely. And that
What does this do, Ben, to the windowing system? I'm guessing here it's effectively opening up new windows or new half windows, if you like, between the existing ones that have been established and, well,
Yeah,
I guess almost
absolutely.
with us forever, really.
I think our focus here in CE is still very much, when it comes to new content, it is pay TV,
Yeah.
it is free TV,
Yeah.
and then it is the VOD services that both of those are trying to grow.
But there are also YouTube producers which are interested in and already did a few fast channels, which is also interesting. And it's not that old content then, because that's a very fresh thing, just other way for monetization.
Yep.
And I guess we have to be careful that it doesn't become. I wouldn't see it as a place, the US series, which is very good, but it gets cancelled after 13 episodes anyway. Fast can't become a dumping ground, if you like, for shows like that, because it would bring the whole genre down.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, it probably might be for a bit, but then ultimately, I don't think they'd
But
survive.
don't forget, you're also potentially looking at a different market, and also you get an analytics back.
Exactly.
With the difference with streaming is we're seeing in real time the amount of streams there are, how many connected devices there are, how many ads are being rendered, and all of this is helping towards the decision making of our content partners. Because we heard it in an earlier panel when they tested something when they had something running on linear for years, and then they put it into a streaming service. It did really well, and they didn't realise that until they could see the real analytics. So
It's like the movie, which bombs at the cinema
But works-
and then works very well on the premium movie
Exactly.
channel.
But you are seeing the actual real-time analytics back from that. So it gives everybody more decisions. There's more data to deal with, obviously, but we're helping our clients do that by giving them easy data sets to analyse.
And the decisions you're making with that data, Keith, or your partners are, is it going so far as, oh my goodness, that channel's dreadful, it's got to go. Oh, but this one is doing really well. I wonder if there's a spin-off we can do from that.
Well, that's really down to the platforms because they decide what channels go on there. So
But looking
they
at it
are-
holistically, you
Well, look,
obviously
you can
take
see,
a view.
obviously, if we go back to what the US model is now, they've now got tier one premium channels coming on, and obviously the channels that aren't performing as well and making as good revenue are dropping out. So you're definitely seeing that. So that it is a bit of an alarm in some cases where this is only in region, by the way, and talking US. If the channels aren't performing, then obviously they could potentially drop off. But then that's how we're trying to work with them on performance marketing to deliver viewers to the channel. So we are trying to help our customers drive revenue back to the channels using AI and performance marketing.
I want to come back to you in a moment and ask a little bit about the advertising side, but I think you wanted to come in.
Yeah, I wanted to say that we should see more content producers, content owners from CE in FAST.
Definitely.
It will never work in CE without cooperation with local telcos, with local producers, with local content owners. That's how we should cooperate and make that business together.
And I guess it's stating the obvious that there will be more than just Kitchen Nightmares, which has produced shows for 20 years,
And we have amazing
where the
producers
library
here.
is present in a lot of markets.
Yeah, we have amazing producers in CE region, so they should have more presence in the faster environment as well.
And I think that's where further down the line, it's too early for this, but we know that across this region we've got multiple languages, and that is sometimes in a sense, a barrier to entry. But AI is something where that can lower that barrier to entry significantly.
I was wondering,
that will make it a more viable business model potentially in the future. I mean, we're not talking about today, but I don't think there are solutions even today.
Well, one might imagine, I'm not an expert on subtitling, but one might imagine that subtitling is something that could be done relatively quickly.
We
not
work
already.
all our subtitling for our channel. When we enter to new markets with our channels, we use AI tools for subtitling, and it costs us almost nothing.
Yeah, and then
so we can easily enter these markets. Yeah,
So it's
with
already
almost
built
no
in, if
cost
you
of
like,
localization.
to the production in itself.
And we're also running now a project with dubbing, AI dubbing, with another partner, and we get very, very good results.
Really?
As well.
I know that. I remember that. I think it's the EBU for some of their sort of syndicated sports coverage. They've been experimenting. I should remember the name. An athlete has lent her voice to the commentary, and she will be AI generated. Because sometimes with these services, you press the red button and you just get lost between races. You've got no idea what's going on. You're craving the return of the continuity announcer.
So that will definitely help to enter the markets. With the content. With doing the localization using AI tools, definitely.
And arguably that has a trickle
With
down
almost
into
no
linear,
cost,
linear as well, really, doesn't it?
There's such a scrum for dubbing houses at the moment as well. Everybody is full because of all the SVODs, increasing the demand. So if AI can get involved, then great.
Keith, I wanted to quickly ask you about sort of the advertising side of this. It feels like almost every day I get another press release from a company which is using an ever so slightly different format for providing advertising services. How can those fledgling CE fast services make sure they get the revenue and can basically explain everything to the right person at the right time?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, it's a complex environment, I have to say. But if we take what's happening, there are some. You've got to go with a digital ad server. You've got to go with somebody like SpringServe or Publica. They are basically the link between SSPs and DSPs. This is where we start to complex the market. There's a supply side and there's a demand side. So they all work together to put the ads into the supply to deliver the digital ads in the system. So it's complex, but
And you'd have each, just to go back to your earlier point when we were talking about the different TV operating systems and the telcos. Is each one of those going to have their own little provider, or are they clubbing together?
No, I wouldn't say they're clubbing together, but they're certainly using some central points of integration. So for sure. So we are able to work with both the streamers and the content company. So we can see all the streamers. So we can see all the channels whether we deliver them or not, and help put ad in. So one of the great things about Wurl is we were purchased by a company called AppLoving, and they have their own unique demand in the US. So we've got some demand that we can place in the market. It's, we're buying a lot of advertising space in those regions, which is performance marketing for AppLoving to download more apps on. So we're in that sort of ecosystem, completely delivering demand. But Wurl are also our focus on AI is really around ad tech. We're sort of not getting involved in the sort of translation of content that's just delivered to us, but that's where a lot of our focus is going on. How can we monetize better? How can we get a better yield for the clients, both on streamers and channels? And what tech can we build to put a little bit of difference in the marketplace? And we've just launched a product called Brand Discovery, which is, and this blows my mind, looking at channels in real time and looking at the emotion of the scene change before the ad. So we can tell if it's a happy change or a sad change, and place an ad which is matching that. So
in Polish kitchen nightmares, if they burn the souffle, they get a different.
And when somebody shouts in,
whether it rises correctly.
Exactly. And likewise, if it's a very sad scene, we're putting an appropriate ad in. So it's just another way we're using AI to generate extra yield for our clients. So that's where our focus is. It's really around the ad tech side.
Do we think that fast channels as a whole are, I don't know, are they a symptom of cord cutting, or are they almost just a new element of an ever expanding TV ecosystem?
You can easily complement the existing pay TV business. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So it will help fighting against the cord cutting, I think.
So I think the pay TV telco operators have limited budgets, and they are not able to add more pay TV channels to their lineups. And fast channels bring something different. Because we are distributing fast channels to telcos, and we are able to share profit with them. That's the way how they can earn, they can improve their ARPU in a different way.
Sounds good. Right, my little timer beneath me here has gone into the red, which possibly suggests it's time we wound things up. So thank you all very much indeed, and please show your appreciation for the panel. Thank you very much.
Thank you.